Have you ever looked at someone who's incredibly successful and thought, there's no way this is normal? This looks like cheating? Like they've somehow figured out a shortcut the rest of the world doesn't know about? What if I told you that feeling is actually more accurate than you think, but not in the way you're imagining? Because most people who look like they're cheating at success are actually just playing a completely different game than everyone else. And once you understand this, you'll never look at success the same way again. Let's start with something uncomfortable. Most people are not failing because they lack talent. They're failing because they're following rules that successful people quietly stopped following a long time ago. And that's where the illusion begins. Because when you see someone winning in a big way, it feels unfair, it feels sudden, it feels like they hacked the system, but in reality, they're just doing things that don't look impressive in the beginning, don't feel exciting in the middle, and don't make sense until the results show up. One of the biggest things that makes success look like cheating is consistency that doesn't need motivation. Most people wait for motivation like it's a mood. Successful people treat it like background noise. They don't ask, do I feel like it today? They ask, does this need to get done today? And that small shift creates a massive gap over time. Because while everyone else is restarting their habits every Monday, they never actually stop. And from the outside, it looks like they're moving effortlessly, like they never struggle, like they have some hidden energy source. But the truth is, they just removed negotiation from their daily routine. Then there's something even more misunderstood, and that's boring discipline. Nobody posts about it, nobody celebrates it, but it's the backbone of everything that looks like overnight success. So when someone is building their body, their business, their skills, or their income, the work is usually repetitive, unglamorous, and honestly kind of boring. But they do it anyway. And while others are chasing excitement, they are chasing repetition. That's why later on, when results appear, it feels like magic to outsiders. But it was just boredom handled better than most people can handle it. Another thing that creates this cheating illusion is speed of decision-making. Most people overthink everything. They analyze, delay, second-guess, and ask 10 different opinions before moving an inch. Successful people don't always have better answers. They just decide faster and adjust later. And that creates momentum. From the outside, it looks like they always knew what they were doing. But inside, it's often just rapid correction. It's not perfect planning. They don't wait to be certain. They move, learn, adjust, repeat. And that cycle makes them look like they're always ahead of the game. Now here's something people rarely talk about. Obsession with fundamentals. While most people are chasing hacks, shortcuts, and secret tricks, successful people are quietly mastering the basics. Training properly, eating properly, sleeping properly, repeating simple actions that don't go viral and don't sound exciting. But this is exactly why it looks like cheating later. Because when someone is consistent with fundamentals for years, they develop results that others assume must come from something advanced or hidden. But it's not advanced. It's just ignored by everyone else. And then there's the part that really confuses people, saying no more than saying yes. Most people think success is about adding more work, more goals, more hustle, more opportunities. But high-level performers are constantly removing things. And they remove distractions, unnecessary commitments, and even good opportunities that don't align with their main direction. From the outside, it looks like they have more time, more focus, more energy, but they don't have more time. They just protect it more aggressively than everyone else. Another major factor is environment design. This one is huge, but almost invisible. Successful people don't rely on willpower as much as people think. They build environments that make good decisions easier and bad decisions harder. If someone is always in shape, it's often not because they resist junk food constantly, but because their environment doesn't constantly challenge them with it. If someone is highly productive, it's not because they're superhuman, but because their surroundings reduce friction for focus. From the outside, it looks like discipline. From the inside, it's design. And then we have the uncomfortable truth about patience. Real success often takes longer than people are willing to accept. But the people who eventually look like they're cheating are the ones who stayed in the game when there was no visible reward. They kept showing up during the invisible phase, when nothing impressive was happening. And this is where most people quit, because humans are wired to expect immediate feedback. So when someone survives that phase and keeps going, they eventually hit a point where progress becomes visible all at once. That sudden visibility is what creates the illusion of overnight success. Another thing that plays a huge role is skill stacking. Most people try to be good at one thing. But successful people quietly combine multiple average to good skills that together become rare and powerful. For example, someone might not be the best in one area, but they are decent at several complementary areas that amplify each other. From the outside, it looks like they're extraordinary in one specific thing. But internally, it's just a combination that most people never bother to build. Let's also talk about discomfort tolerance, because this one separates almost everyone. The people who look like they're cheating at success are not necessarily stronger or smarter, but they are more willing to stay uncomfortable for longer periods. Whether it's physical discomfort, emotional discomfort, or social discomfort, they don't immediately escape it. Most people avoid discomfort at all costs, even if it costs them their goals. But successful people understand that discomfort is part of the process, not a signal to stop. And that ability alone changes everything. And then there's feedback speed. Most people wait too long to adjust their approach. They keep doing something that clearly isn't working because they're emotionally attached to it or because they don't want to start over. Successful people are constantly checking results and adjusting quickly. That doesn't mean they're changing direction every day, but they're not blindly continuing either. This creates faster learning cycles, and faster learning always looks like unfair advantage from the outside. Finally, the biggest thing that makes success look like cheating is time compounding. This is the one nobody wants to hear because it feels too simple. Every action repeated over time either compounds or collapses. Most people underestimate this because day-to-day changes look small, but over months and years, those small actions become massive differences. The person who trains a little every day, learns a little every day, builds a little every day, eventually becomes someone who looks completely different from where they started. And to everyone who wasn't watching closely, it looks sudden, it looks unfair, it looks like cheating. But it's not cheating, it's accumulation. It's discipline that didn't break, it's focus that didn't scatter, it's patience that didn't collapse. And once you see that clearly, you realize something important. Success was never hidden from you. It was just hidden in plain sight, disguised as things that don't look exciting enough to respect in the moment. And maybe that's the real shift here. The moment you stop chasing what looks impressive and start respecting what actually compounds, your definition of success starts changing. Because the truth is, what looks like cheating from the outside is usually just someone refusing to quit on boring things long enough for them to become extraordinary. And if you take anything from this, let it be this. The gap between you and the people who look like they're cheating isn't talent, and it's not luck. It's usually just a longer period of doing simple things without stopping.